Ladies and gentlemen, friends and guests, the brand new Destiny 2 dungeon has just been released today, and we're bringing you a guide on how to get through it in less than 5 minutes for each encounter. So check the timestamps if you're looking for encounter 2 or encounter 3, but we're going to get into encounter 1, get you through it nice and quick. Any questions? Leave them in the comments. Thanks, guys.
So this first encounter here has you loading in around this shrine. You're going to have to run forward a little ways into the woods, but you'll find it easily. Take out this ogre here. He'll drop a trail of green goop that you'll have to follow. You'll start from that shrine, make your way along that line of the green goop. I'm showing you a little different angle here. You can see the goop is pointing that direction. So we'll hop on our sparrows, chase that green goop down. That'll take you through the woods, weave, dip, dodge, duck, dive, dodge, dip, and dive. That'll take you here next to a group of ads that'll spawn. You'll take a look up in the sky. There'll be a symbol. Remember that symbol. Write it down. Make sure you say it out loud so everybody on your team realizes, hey, that's the symbol. I call that one 5 horizontal lines, but call them whatever you want. There are some names that are going around, but make up whatever you want to. It's more fun that way. So you kill a group of wizards, and then they'll drop a new green trail. You'll follow that green trail to the next group of wizards, acolytes, and all kinds of luminous moths and whatnot. You'll follow that trail a few times, killing all the ads every time. You'll wipe everything, then I'll drop a new green trail. This is the last one in the chain. There's 3 or 4 every time. I died here, but I left that in for a comedic effect. You see that in the background there, a lucent hive. So a hive wizard. Once you kill that, the person who finishes the hive ghost gets a buff that we need to then go take to the terminal that we started at and dunk that into one of the statues. So once everything here's dead and somebody's got that buff, the other players got it. You don't see it on the bottom of the screen. Come back to this terminal that we were at before, wipe as many ads as you can. There'll be some knights there that you need to take up before you're able to progress. Make sure you're grabbing all the ammo and orbs as you run along. Clear out the rest of the ads. Then you'll see one of the deep sight things from the Witch Queen spawn. You'll do that, and that'll show you symbols. And if we think back, that 5-line symbol is what we saw before. So the individual will dunk into that statue, and you'll see that text come up on the screen saying that you've completed that wave. Now you'll do that a few more times, and you'll finally dunk in 3 or 4 of those buffs. It'll probably take you 10-15 minutes. But once you get all that done, that'll be completing the encounter, and you'll get your loot. I got lucky on this, and I think I got lucky. I got a rangefinder, adrenaline junkie, SMG. I think that's pretty good. All right, into the second encounter here. This is going to be the first boss fight, and just be warned, this boss is a meat wall. Ridiculous amount of health on this guy. I would recommend running swords and a bunch of ad kills. The first thing you're going to do is take out some knights. There's going to be 1 on each side, and then once those knights are dead, there's going to be this ogre spawn. When he dies, spawns a pool of deep sight that you can pick up so that you can read the hive symbols that are on the wall. My buddy right there just picked up that deep sight, and it's right where he was standing. You can see up on the wall behind him, there's a symbol, and then on this wall, there's 2 symbols. Any one of those circles can be filled with a symbol. I'm throwing those symbols down on the bottom so we remember them. You go jump in the pool. Down below here, there's going to be a bunch of symbols randomly placed on the walls. I don't know if you've done this before, but in the first mission, you go underwater. So this pressure mechanic is returning from before. Picking up those bubbles refreshes your survivability underwater. So you're just going to look around this basement area while you're getting chased by the boss and find the symbols that you need on the wall. So again, looking down at the bottom left, we see that symbol on the wall is matching one of the ones we need, so we'll interact with it. And you'll get this text box coming up on the bottom once all 3 symbols are collected or interacted with. That indicates that you get to come upstairs and deal with these hive wizards. Those are guardians, or hive guardians, so you'll need to finish their ghost. Just like in that first encounter, once you finish that ghost, you'll get a buff. I'll kill this one here so we'll be able to see that buff come up. Take him out with the deliverance, and then sunshot to round him out. There's 3 statues in this room, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and then 1 in the top middle. That's that buff that we saw before, or that we talked about before. You need to take that buff and bring it to one of the statues that hasn't been dunked in yet. So I'll bring it to this one, throw it in, and that was the 3rd one. You can see I'm passing on the right. On the right of me there is that first statue. We're going to come down to the middle here and kill a knight down in that area. Once he is dead, you can start damaging the boss. The boss is a little bit of a shield so that you have to do a minimum amount of damage before you can start actually damaging him. So you can't just go 60 waves and do 10 damage per wave. Once you finish him, finish the ghost, and you've completed the encounter. That took us, I believe, 5 waves or 4 waves. Either way, it's a lot of health that you need to do, so make sure you got on a sword, some good survivability, and some ad clear. From this encounter, I got this bond. I think it looks cool, but it does look like it's going to start my cloak on fire, unfortunately, so I don't know if I can wear this. Alright guys, the third encounter and the final boss of this dungeon. Once you complete this, you'll have completed the dungeon. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear ads until one of those deep sites is going to spawn. There's no ogre like there was before. So we're going to pick up that deep site, and that's going to show us a triangle over Oryx's body. The Hive Ritual that is trying to resurrect him is using that triangle in some way, so we just need to go from each point to each point and take out Vorlog, that knight, sword knight, the only sword knight in this encounter, so it's easy to tell. Take out that sword knight from inside one of these circles. Be very careful around the boss because he spawns lucent moths, those glowing things you can see right now, and those blow you the heck up. There is no safety from them. So one of my buddies just picked up deep sight, so now we can see that triangle. So we need to move to one of those points of the triangle and take out Vorlog from inside that point of the triangle. We're just clearing the ads to make survivability a little bit easier here. So we see down there below, they're starting to kite Vorlog into one of the points of the triangle. And you need deep sight active to be able to do this, so make sure you're watching that timer on the left side of your screen. You don't need to have Vorlog in the circle, but you need to be in the circle when you kill Vorlog. You see that ring that spawned? You need to look at the black dot in the green circle you were just in. That symbol there spawns when you kill Vorlog, so look closely at that. You're going to need to line that up from one of the other green areas. So kill Vorlog from in the circle, and then look at that circle through the green ring that spawns. If you don't see that symbol spawn, it's possible that you didn't have deep sight when you killed Vorlog, so refresh your deep sight and try it. So survivability is a big issue in this one, so make sure you got your resilience maxed out. You've got your resistance mods on your chest plate, and you got some ad clear on so you don't just get overrun. So we saw that symbol spawn in just above me. We're going to look at that symbol through the ring that spawned, just like that, like we did before. And you're going to need to do this with all 3 points. There's 3 points of the triangle, obviously. So we're cutting out that third one. It's exactly the same in the first 2 as it is the last one. After that, you're going to have to go into the water rooms on the edge of the map. There's going to be 3 of them, and each one is going to have a Hive Guardian in it. The one that I went in has a Hive Wizard. That's a Guardian, so kind of the Warlock. You're going to pay attention to which symbol is in the room with the Hive Guardian that you take out, because just like in the second encounter, you're going to need that buff that you're about to see me get there on the left side of the screen, and you're going to need to deposit that into the corresponding symbol. So you see that point of the triangle that we activated before had that symbol over it. So we're going to throw that symbol into that point of the triangle. And now we can start doing boss damage. This is the last wave, just so you can see it. Every single wave that you do is the exact same. You just need to pay attention to the ads and then getting the damage done. The boss does teleport around, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend rockets. That's what we went with, but we did miss quite a few times. I got exceptionally lucky. On my first try, I got the exotic, and then a glaive as well. Let's take a look at that exotic here. So we'll dig in. It's got a catalyst that I don't have yet, obviously, but if you shoot an ally with this trace rifle, you and that ally will get woven mail, which is a fantastic damage resistance in PvE. So you really want to be able to use that anytime you get a chance, and giving that buff gives you some additional ammo back to the magazine, or back to reserves, so that it's not a total waste of ammo to give you and your buddy a buff. So I highly recommend taking this dungeon, give it a try. If you got any questions, throw them down in the comments. I'm happy to help. Thanks, guys.